Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today I will be welcoming an old friend of mine from the Bay Area. Her name is Marie Gallegos. I've known her for about 8 or 9 years, maybe 7. I knew her from karaoke, from going to karaoke in the Bay Area through mutual friends and stuff. I'm having her on the podcast today to reminisce about old times and catch up on what we've been up to and stuff since she knew me when I was a lost soul. And she's one of many people I'm surprised still talk to me after all these years and stuff. And she's really cool. So, here is my interview with Marie Gallegos. Hi, Marie.
Hi, Tommy. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Oh, my God. It's been a while.
It has been a long time.
I think the last time I talked to you was maybe a month or a week before my accident.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember which. The timeline is fuzzy in my memory.
How long ago was that now?
That was January of 2015.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long time. How are you feeling? Everything going good?
Yeah, everything is going great. Looking forward to the next few months. It's going to be amazing.
Good. Yeah, I texted you about that you should be an actor. I can see you doing it.
Yep, I'm trying.
I think that's your calling.
It is. I'm trying to do that and stuff. I'm going to be moving to LA for 3 months later in the year, and hopefully I'll be able to stay longer if something good happens out there, but I'm going to do a 3-month trial run.
Good.
Yeah, I need
Are you in contact with anybody yet?
You mean in Hollywood?
Right.
Oh, everybody. I mean, this is my 421st podcast, 21st podcast that I've done. I mean, I've interviewed so many people in the industry.
Wow. That's great.
Yeah, I'm very lucky. And I didn't think I was going to do it past 10 episodes, but I've kept going because just, more people have written me back even like a year later and said, sure, I'll talk to you,
Well, that's great. 421, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's been amazing.
Nice. Good. And when again are you leaving to Los Angeles?
It's probably going to be like August 1st to November 1st, but I'm going to be going out there for a week next month with my mom. We're going to go to the horror convention out there, and yeah, and we're going to meet up with some of my celebrity friends that I've made from doing this show and stuff.
Great. Well, you'll have to contact me when you go do one of those conventions near here, because I would love to join you to do something like that.
Oh yeah, I do it all the time. In fact, I want to go to the San Jose Fairgrounds. Has this comic book show that happens like every 3 months, and I was going to go last month. This month actually. I was going to go because I wanted to meet Karen Allen. She was going to be there, but unfortunately I couldn't go because the weather was really bad. But I'm going to see if I can go in June.
Well, good.
I'll
yeah, those Comic-Con events, I would love to do that also.
Yeah, those are fun. Yeah, those I go to those. I go to the horror and the Comic Cons.
Good. Well, I love to go to costume parties. In fact, I'm going to one this weekend.
Oh, you are?
Yes. I'm going to be Cleopatra.
Is that for Mardi Gras?
No, it's I have a friend who puts on these parties like probably every 2 to 3 months, and just has a different theme every time. So this time it's going to be Bohemians, Misfits, and Rebels.
Nice. Nice.
So it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have some girlfriends, and we all like to get together and do that. Go out and get dressed and have fun. So that'll be nice.
Mm-hmm. Where'd you get the costume at?
I've got bits and pieces from here and there. So I have to go and get me one more piece. I'm going to make it kind of the belt. So I'm going to make that piece. And then I got a headdress. I don't really like the snake on it, so I think I'm going to replace the snake with something more realistic.
Nice.
And paint it gold. So I've got to figure that out. And I got a really cute dress that's real Cleopatra-ish. And then I've got a cape. So.
Nice. God, I met you like right at the beginning of me becoming a lost soul. It's just so profound.
Did you?
What's that?
Well, I'm glad we met.
Yeah, because
that was at the gate, wasn't it?
It was at St. James Gate, yes.
Yeah.
That was the beginning of my drinking getting really bad, I remember. And, oh my God, I was just not in a good place. And, as I flash forward, 7 years later or whatever it was, I just, I can't believe not only did I survive that, but also things that happened, a couple of years before that. I mean, I've had an amazing journey.
Yeah, you've gone through a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You're a survivor.
I'm definitely a survivor. Yeah. And, oh my God. Have you gone to see Sam?
I haven't seen Sam for probably at least 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, we keep talking about getting together, but something happens on his end or my end, so we haven't made it. But yeah, I'd like to go out and hear him sing again. It's been so long. Maybe when he's someplace a little closer to me, maybe like Half Moon Bay or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to see him, all the way until I moved. And, oh my God, I just can't believe the following he has built up at that place, because in the very beginning, it took a while, because the KJ that was there before him, she was like an older woman with an accent, and she was like drawing older crowds, like 60, 70, 80-year-olds,
Is that at the gate?
At the gate, yeah. And and she was like, someone that you'd see at like American Legion or something. And it was a completely different vibe, but Sam has just turned that place into something different on karaoke night. It's great.
Well, maybe I'll have to go see that.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to watch you sing? You sing great.
I've been up here in Reading for almost 2 years now.
Wow. Yeah, I have some friends there. I was out there maybe a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been a while. It's really pretty there.
It is. It's not my ideal town. No, I tried to get into the theater scene over here to act, and they just weren't very nice to me. They were nice, like in the acting class I took, and then just when I got on social media, it was completely different.
That's too bad.
Yeah. And they're all like different ages too. They're like, from 20s to 60s.
Wow. I have 2 grandkids who are gifted like you, who can sing and act, and it's awesome. I just never got any of those gifts. I don't know what my gift is yet.
You still don't?
No.
Maybe it's being the nice person that you are.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, if anything.
I guess that's a good quality, I guess. Yeah, I'm kind of a nurturer and someone that kind of takes care of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I have to stop once in a while and take care of me.
Yeah, I mean, that's a quality I have too, but ever since my accident, I've remained the same in some areas, but I've remained different in some areas, because I just, I have trouble trusting a lot of people now after, that friend I trusted,
Right.
put me in that
And with
mess.
accidents.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a lot more careful now, and just like my priorities are different in terms of relationships now. I just want to have a good career. That's what I want,
Oh, good.
and then, the relationships comes later, when it's supposed to.
Right.
And
Right, and if you can have some little close friends on the way, but I know I'm the same way. I kind of look at things a little bit different and find out who's really my friend.
mm-hmm.
So I kind of keep my circle a little bit tight. Yeah, I think you have to do that.
Yeah, it's something I never thought I would do in a million years. I just started doing it now. I've always been a guy who's pretty open about my age, but now I'm at that point now where I don't want to admit that I'm going to be 36 this year.
Oh, you're young.
I know, but I just don't feel like it now.
Yeah, just wait till you get over 40, and then the years roll by fast.
My dad was married. My parents, both of my parents were married when they were this age and had kids, and it's like I'm just still struggling.
Well, you can start any time. So I mean, just if I could do it all over again, I'd do everything fun that I could before I had kids, and I'm happy I had my kids. But I think you need to go explore and do all those fun things first, because once you have kids, you're tied down.
I do agree with that. Yes, it's pretty crazy, and
but I just went on a vacation with my daughter and my granddaughter and my niece and my sister and a bunch of family, and we had the best time ever. It was so nice.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, and yeah, I just had the most incredible journey, and I spent 5 months in the hospital, following that accident, and it was just hell.
Wow, that's awful. 5 months, that's a long time.
Yeah, and I had maybe 4 or 5 friends visit me the entire time.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah.
And where were you at?
San Francisco General.
Gosh, I was nearby you. That was a difficult time for me with my illness.
Yeah.
But I'm doing much better. But I wish I could have been there for you. I'm sorry, Tommy.
It's okay.
I'm here for you. I'm here for you now.
Yes, you are. Yeah. Oh my God. So I was in ICU the first 2 weeks I was awake, and then they put me into rehab. And the people in rehab were really mean. The people in ICU were angels. Like, I could not have been so blessed. But in rehab, they were just so mean to me. And
that's crazy. They shouldn't be in that field if they're mean to people. You don't do that to somebody who's trying to heal and recover.
Well, there's that, and there's also they're following hospital policy, and the policy is bullshit, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people are. Yeah.
They want you to heal a lot faster than you're supposed to, and they will do anything in their will to make that happen. They will force you to do stuff. Like in my case, they were just like forcing me to get out of bed and move with my broken leg like right away, and I was like, I need more time,
Oh yeah. Your leg was broken pretty bad. I imagine if you were in the hospital for all that time. Did you have internal issues also?
Oh yeah, they put me on blood thinners. I had gallstones, and I eventually had my gallbladder taken out about 9 months after I got out of the hospital, and that was a pretty incredible process. Like, I never thought I was ever going to have my gallbladder out, and I just I can't. I still enjoy food, but like certain foods I can't have anymore because they just won't agree with me no more.
Yeah, I had mine taken out quite a while ago, and I'm still scared to eat those foods that used to bother me, like lobster. I eat that, I get sick immediately, but I'm scared to try it, even though I have my gallbladder out. I'm scared to try it.
I had lobster once since it was taken out. Been have any effect on me.
Okay, well, maybe I'll be brave and try it sometime.
Yeah, I mean, how long was it before you had it?
Oh gosh, before I had my gallbladder issues.
No, I mean
Uh,
when you ate it, like right after it was removed.
oh, I got sick like immediately,
Oh,
like like vomiting and just really sick.
well,
And I thought the first time that I was just was ill, and then the second time I took a couple bites and just started gagging and just I was in pain and vomiting, and
was
haven't tried it since then.
was this in the first like couple of weeks since you recovered from it?
No, this was before I had my gallbladder out.
Oh, I gotcha.
And I
Okay.
started having all these issues. Like if I would eat, I love fettuccine with Alfredo sauce, and that's one of the favorites of my family. So I would always make it, and then whenever I'd eat it, I'd get sick. And it was all the buttery because it has a lot. It's really rich. All that buttery fat used to really cause issues with my gallbladder.
Ooh.
But everybody in my family on my dad's side have had their gallbladders out. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just a hereditary thing where that happens with us, but yeah, lots of people.
Yeah, I don't know, what caused mine. Maybe it could have been all the alcohol I was drinking daily. Could have been that and all the food I was eating. That was bad for me. But like, when I was, not living under my own roof that first year, all I was eating was fast food. It was tough.
Oh yeah, fast food is so bad for you. I know my cholesterol is high right now, and I have to watch my diet and not eat any red meat and try to stay away from fats.
I've lost 20 pounds.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, I got another 75 or 80 more to go, and I'll be fit. I'll be looking good by the time I go out there in August. But at least I'll start looking good. Next month when I go out there.
Right.
You know.
Good for you.
Yeah, I decided January 1st was going to be the day that I start dieting because I just was tired of feeling sick. I was tired of just eating candy and drinking soda with sugar in it. So I stopped all of that.
Yeah, and it makes you realize after you stop what it does to you. It makes you sluggish and just, it's not good.
No.
Yeah, I kind of gave up everything like that. Also, I quit drinking Diet Coke, and I started feeling better after I gave that up. I've never really been much of a drinker, so I don't drink much, but I like sugary. I thinking Diet Coke would be better for you, but it's actually worse.
Yeah.
So I'll just have a soda once in a while, but not every day like I did.
I was after, recovery and like I couldn't drink alcohol anymore. Like was getting, I wouldn't say I was getting withdrawals, but I was getting cravings and I was just, I became addicted to caffeine and
Oh, yeah.
I've been slowly trying to get out of that the last year and a half or so because it polluted my mind by the time I moved up here and I was just full of anxiety and always paranoid and stuff.
Oh, yeah, caffeine. I can't even drink much caffeine now. I get heart palpitations if I drink it. So I stay away from it.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yes. Yeah, I couldn't figure out what the heart palpitations were, and it was from coffee.
Wow.
I'm a big baby. I can't eat or drink much.
Is that a new thing, or did that happen years ago?
No, that happened years ago when I worked at Hewlett Packard. And, that's the thing we did. Everybody go get their cup of coffee in the morning, and, and I started having heart palpitations, like, what is going on? And that's what it was. And my heart's fine. It's just the caffeine. I can't handle it.
What was it? Palpitations like you couldn't breathe?
No, I would just feel my heart like flutter. It would feel like it kind of paused, and then it would just kind of, like a flutter, and it would take my breath away.
Oh.
And that's what it was. So. Yeah, so I know when I'm, once in a while I like to have a cup of coffee, but not that often. I like chai tea, and chai tea does the same thing to me.
Yeah.
So it's got a lot of caffeine. In fact, a lot of teas have more caffeine than coffee do. So I just, once in a while, I'll do it. But
My mom loves her
like
coffee.
Do you like chai tea?
My mom loves her coffee. She
She loves her coffee.
she drinks it constantly.
I love the smell of coffee.
Oh yeah, I do too.
I love going into a place and just smelling the coffee. So I'm pretty good about not drinking it, even though it smells so good.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I get satisfied with just the smell now.
Oh, that's the best. I love it.
Yeah. They need to have a coffee air freshener.
I'm surprised they haven't
That would be great.
I'm surprised they haven't come up with that yet.
Yeah, I don't think I've found that one yet, but I think it would be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you?
Oh, go ahead.
Did you get out and get some sun this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I got to go out a little bit and stuff. It's funny. We have a hot tub here and a swimming pool, and I go there like at nighttime. But for some reason, I just did not want to go there this weekend. Maybe because I knew that all these millennial jerks would be hanging out there like they always do, or maybe it was just because I just felt like staying in. I don't know.
Yeah, I go through that different times. Yeah, we were in Mexico and they had two beautiful pools there in a grotto, and it was so nice being at the pool. When everybody would kind of leave, I go down there and just do a lot of exercises and swim, and I loved it, and I missed that. I wish I had a pool here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was the first place I've lived in about 15 years that had like a pool and a hot tub.
Nice.
Yeah, I missed the apartment I had 15 years ago. That had a nice one.
Nice. Well, I'm right by the ocean, but it's a little bit too cold here to get in the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm about a 5-minute walk.
Nice.
I'll go for walks there, but I rarely get in the ocean.
Mm-hmm. I got in the last 2 years, I've auditioned for America's Got Talent 3 times.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I did in person like 6 months after I got out of the hospital. I had to do a online audition because they didn't come to San Francisco in 2017, and then last year I went back to the Bay Area and did it, and didn't get it for the third time, and I really have no desire of doing it again because it's just I just realized my type of humor is not for NBC.
Oh.
But I did see Joe Hughes there.
Yeah. Joe isn't around here much. I think he's in Florida or something like that.
Oh, I didn't know about that, but
I think he and his girlfriend bought some property there, so I think he's there a lot of the time.
Yeah, he thought my set that I did for them was hilarious. He liked what I did.
Now, are you doing that at all anymore?
Not down here, I'm not, because there's really nowhere to do it down here. But like my podcast, I make people laugh on here, and that's good enough for me for right now.
Oh, good.
I'm definitely going to do it when I get to LA. I'm going to go to all the comedy clubs and try to get stage time. No matter how competitive it is, I'm going to try it.
Oh, yeah.
And I've interviewed a lot of comedians from the Comedy Store over there, so that might help me.
Oh, good.
A lot of the current ones. So.
Right. So who's your favorite comedian? You have somebody?
I mean, the guys I grew up with. I grew up with all the edgy guys like Sam Kinison and Andrew Dice Clay and Bobcat Goldthwait. Those were my guys.
I remember all those guys.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, for today, I like guys like Bill Burr and Joey Diaz and Joe Rogan. Like I watch all their podcasts, and their podcasts are pretty good. And they sell a lot of tickets to their gigs through the podcasts.
Great.
Yeah.
I think the only one I might know who Joey Diaz. I know who Joe Rogan is, and I like him.
Mm-hmm. I saw him live 3 years ago when I went to L.A. for a week 3 years ago, and I went to go see him at the Ice House in Pasadena, and he did a really good show.
Fun. Yeah, I haven't been to too many concerts here. I go to some reggae concerts here,
Mm-hmm.
and we plan on going to Cali Roots this year, so that'll be fun. But
Where are you at now? You said Half Moon Bay?
no, I'm like to drive to Half Moon Bay, but I'm in Santa Cruz.
You're in Santa Cruz.
I'm right at the edge of Santa Cruz and Capitola.
Wow, I got to go to Santa Cruz a couple times before I left. I hadn't been there in years, and I just enjoyed it. I went to go see Y&T perform and the Tubes, and I was going to go see somebody else, but I didn't get to. Oh, but I saw Blue Oyster Cult too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they have a lot of good concerts there. I just haven't, I've only been back here for, probably a year and a half now.
Mm-hmm.
And my family keeps trying to get me to go back to Idaho, and I go visit, and I think, no, I don't want to go back. I do. I like California. I like the ocean and the sunshine. I don't like cold.
Yeah.
I do miss my family.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen some good stuff over there in Santa Cruz at the boardwalk, and I even had Chinese there for the first time instead of just getting corn dog and fries. And I was like, it's pretty interesting, the Chinese food that they have at the boardwalk.
Well, you'll have to come visit me sometime.
I will. I'm going to try, at least. My mom, she works in the Bay Area in Union City. And so she's out there 5 days a week, and then she comes here on the weekends.
Oh, wow.
Because
so she lives there where you are, and then she goes to the city 5 days a week?
Yeah, she was staying at my brother's apartment, but my brother lost his apartment. Now my brother's here with me, but she's staying in hotels now out there 5 days a week. Because what happened was she got a job in Livermore about 2 months before my accident. And, she became persona non grata in terms of getting an apartment in the Bay Area because of her credit's bad. And so she was living in her car and, coming down here to Reading to stay at my godparents' place and going back and forth. And then she got this apartment over here. They didn't care about her credit, thank God. And she needed help paying the rent, so I came here 3 months later because I wanted to get out of that group home I was staying in because they were taking all my money and just being dehumanizing over there.
Oh, no. It's so hard to find a good place like that. Like, I have a friend right now who, she's older and she has a lot of issues, and she's in a nursing care center. Mm-hmm. And there just seems like there aren't that many good places that they really care for you. Yeah. I talked to her today, and she was sitting there not fully dressed still, and it was probably 1 o'clock, and she was waiting for somebody to come help her get dressed. And she said that's been happening, and I just felt so bad for her.
Marie, I can tell you honestly, there are no good places for the disabled. It's just like anything. It's corrupt, and it's just not right. I was in 2 group homes when I was homeless. The first one, I got sexually assaulted in there, and about 6 months ago, they got busted for human trafficking, and I was so happy.
Oh, thank God they got, they found out. That's terrible, Tommy. That's,
Oh, yeah, they laundered $10 million.
Oh, my God.
and they did it in 10.
Crazy.
They did it in 10 years, and oh my God, they were getting uh, all these people from the Philippines because they're Filipino, and they were like making them work as slaves, and they were sexually assaulting them and stuff. It was pretty bad.
That's horrible.
Yeah. And in the second home that I was in, it wasn't bad like that, but they were just, once I started collecting my disability money again, that's when they started taking every check. My mom had to give me like $50 every 2 weeks when she got her check, and I had no money, and we had to get me out of there. And there was a lot of other stuff going on that was pretty bad, and
That's awful.
yeah. And
Oh, I hate to hear that. That's crazy.
I interviewed this actress um, who she quit acting in 1990, and she became a social worker for disabled adult children, and she did it 25 years, and then she got out of the business because she saw exactly the same things that I saw in the homes for adults. She said she saw sexual assault, she saw taking the money, not taking care of the kids, all that stuff. And her blood pressure climbed to the point where she had to get out of it. Otherwise,
Yeah.
she was going to have a heart attack. So she got back into acting, ironically. I'm like, acting will higher your blood pressure too if you're not getting the parts you want. And she's like,
Right.
yeah, but at least I have more fun doing that.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's crazy. I know my friend who's in the care center now, she's supposed to have physical therapy 2 times a day, and she's been there 4 days, and she hasn't had any physical therapy.
Wow.
So it's just like, geez.
I know, and they hire people with mental incapabilities or past drug and substance abuse to work in these homes, and they shouldn't do that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I thought they were more, well, apparently they're not, because so many people, you hear about all these horror stories. It's so sad.
We had this the second home that I was in. We had this one woman who's a serious alcoholic, and she was a complete whack job, like a crazy whack job that you'd see, being homeless, except she wasn't homeless, and just like she was always forgetting stuff. You always had to constantly remind her and stuff, and she was just really weird like that. And there was like a period during the last few weeks I was there where she wasn't there, and I was like, oh good, I hope she got fired. Well, she didn't. The last Sunday that I was there, she was there working.
That's crazy. And these are the people that are taking care of our loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
That's bad.
Yeah, and the woman who was running the home, she had her own she owned a house on the other side of Redwood City, and she was very well off. I mean, she had money, this woman, and she's extorting money from these families to have the disabled adults live there, and then just only take care of them selectively the way that they need to be taken care of. It's disgusting.
That's terrible. And then they just take all of their money.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Terrible.
Disgusting, yeah. And I'm so glad I'm away from there. I'll tell you, the day that I left, it was the happiest day. I can't believe I was there 3 years.
Oh, really? 3 years?
Yeah, because I moved in July of 14, and I was talking when you and I had that last conversation. I was living there at the time, and then I moved out mid April of 17.
Wow. It's a long time to be in a place like that. That's terrible. That was really hard on you.
Well, I will tell you this. The first 7 months I was there leading up to my accident, I had to share a room, and that was tough. But then after I got out of the hospital, they gave me my own room. She turned her office there into a bedroom for me. So I got to have my own bedroom. my own things. I had all my possessions in there. My mom got a lot of my stuff out of storage and put it in there, and I had it, and it was great. It was great.
But
But it became,
there's nothing like having your own place. You got to have your own space as an adult. It's,
yeah. But there was so much tension, like in the last like 6 months I was there because I got my money back and everything. Like it was so unbearable. Like when I got up in the morning, I would I would not even shower. I would just put my clothes on and escape out the back door without them knowing because I knew they were going to say, where's my money? Your mother hasn't called me. All that stuff.
Oh gosh, so they harassed you.
Yeah.
That's terrible. I bet your mother had a hard time having you there. That's terrible.
Oh yeah, and funny thing is too, my mom had to come down a lot to the Bay Area. She was already up in Livermore, living in her car and working the job. That she would have to come stay. Um, she would have to come stay in the Bay Area. So the woman who owned the house, she didn't mind my mom staying in my room whenever she could, right? But then it became so frequent that she started yelling at my mom whenever she came over and just treating her badly. So my mom stopped staying there after a couple of months of doing that.
Wow, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Well, there's so many people in your mom's and our situation where housing is so difficult, and if I didn't have my family, I would have been on the streets when I got sick too.
Hmm.
So it's scary, really scary.
Hmm. And my mom, she had broken up with her boyfriend, the month that we had to move out of our apartment when we became homeless. And last year he contacted her and they were back together for 2 months and I was just like so stressed like we were gonna lose this apartment like we did before and things were gonna get bad again. But then once she saw that he was full of shit again, she left him again.
Good.
And she blocked his email, blocked his number, everything.
Good. That's good.
Yeah, I was really really terrified that we were going to lose this place, and no, she needed some comfort. She needed some male attention, basically.
Well, and now she knows that it's not going to work, so that's good. She, got some closure on that.
Hmm. Yeah. So yeah, that was a scary moment. But it was just a crazy time. Yeah, I'm still haunted by some things that happened during that time. That first year, 2014, was just a tough year. That was the worst of my drinking, the worst. And I hurt so many people. I wish I had a second chance with certain people. But yeah, it just.
Well, alcohol is a bad thing. It's, my daughter, I was in Idaho quite a bit this last winter.
Hmm.
My daughter, one of her best friends, who's only 36,
Hmm.
actually she's 39. She ended up in the hospital. She was vomiting blood, really sick, and they got her in there, and she had stage 4, like cirrhosis of the liver,
Hmm.
and it was because they knew she drank and had an issue with drinking, but she's only probably weighed like 100 pounds. And after her mother had breast cancer, and then she eventually got brain cancer and died. And she was in such depression that she was drinking every single day, like probably, quite a bit of vodka.
Hmm.
Neighbors said that's he would see her. She quit her job, and she just used the money her mother left her, and lived like that for 2 years, drinking every single day and spending the money on alcohol. And yeah, she was in the intensive care unit for, I think it was 35 days. They didn't think she was going to make it, but yeah, it totally ruined her life.
Yeah, I was a bouncer in a bar, during that period. I lost my job in March of 2014 because my drinking got so bad. I was drinking on the job. and I just couldn't control myself. I was so depressed, you know, and I lost a job, and it wasn't until the week after my birthday I was able to start a job doing security at Menlo College in Menlo Park, and I I had an inactive bank account for several months before that because I hadn't worked a real job in a while, and my disability money had been taken away from me. So if I got someone to send me money, right, I had to get money from the MoneyGram machines at CVS.
No.
Yeah. And I remember I got my very last check from the state. It was $1,300. I got it the day after I was fired from that bar, and it was a miracle. And my mom had me deposit it into her bank account, and then we took the money out from there. But
Oh,
yeah,
that's hard when you lose all your, it's hard. It's hard for you, and then your dignity and everything.
yeah,
Uh,
it was pretty bad, But oh my God, just the people that I met too during that time too. I mean, I met some pretty amazing and some pretty crazy people too. You know,
so how did you get out of drinking so much and
the accident. If I
yeah,
if I
kind of?
if I drink, my liver will bleed. The doctor said that
Oh,
my liver is damaged, it's bruised, all that stuff.
oh no, you can't. I know my daughter's friend. She's on. Well, she has to be clean for a year, and then she'll be put on the transplant list.
Yeah.
But yeah, they say if she drinks, she will die.
My mom's
Great.
my mom's childhood friend just died. She had been waiting on a liver for years, and it gave up on her. She died, and
Terrible.
yeah, she was only 64. It just happened like last year. Yeah, and yeah, so I had to give up drinking that way and stuff. And I'll tell you, on New Year's Eve, 2014, going into 15, me and that friend who I got in the accident with, we went to that country bar in Fremont, Saddle Rack.
Okay. I've never been there.
It was a fun place. It was a fun place, but we got so hammered that night because we were drinking because we got a hotel room, me, him, and this other guy that we took along, and we got hammered before we left. I mean, I was drinking Jack Daniels, I was drinking beer. I mean, it was crazy. And then we got more loaded there, and the night went by so fast. The next day, I woke up with the worst hangover of my entire life, and I said, I'm giving up hard alcohol, and I did. And I was 21 days hard alcohol free when I had the accident. I was just drinking beer.
Wow. So what was the cause of the accident? I can't remember.
So this is what happened. We went to the strip bar that we would go to on Tuesday nights because he was dating a stripper there. And she hadn't answered her phone in like a month. So we went down there. He wanted to go talk to her. And after we were done, we went to another bar. And I blacked out. I do not remember anything that happened at that second bar. And that was the karaoke bar that we went to. So what apparently must have happened was I must have fell asleep in the passenger seat. He fell asleep at the wheel, and we ended up in the middle of the road.
Oh, God.
And then we got out okay, and then a car collided with ours, and then the impact hit both of us, and I got the worst of the injuries.
See, were you out of the car when you got hit?
We were out of the car, yeah, but we were still standing in the road.
Oh, God. That's crazy. And what city did that happen in?
That happened in Millbrae.
Wow.
Because he was taking me home, and we were on the Millbrae exit on the highway. And yeah, he was taking me to Redwood City, and then that's when that happened. And the only thing I remember I remember standing in the middle of the road with him at a certain point with my hand bleeding, full of glass, and my heart was racing. I was sweating, and I said, "Hey, what happened?" And he said something like, "I think we ran out of gas." And then I closed my eyes and then woke up in the hospital.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's crazy. Well, thank God you made it out alive.
yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's just always so scary. The roads are so busy here, and if you have to pull off to the side of the road and people are going so fast, it's so dangerous. It's just, yeah. Coming from Idaho and then living here with all this traffic, it's really scared me. I'm used to it now, but you never ever want to get stranded on the side of the road.
hmm Yeah, I mean, the coma lasted 30 days, and
Oh, God.
I woke up on my mom's birthday, and it wasn't until let's see, it was a Saturday. I woke up. I didn't remember anything till Wednesday. Wednesday, I woke up and I was like, "What happened?" And they were like, "You were in an accident." And my mom came that Saturday to see me, and she told me, what had happened and stuff. And I was so full of anesthesia for like 2 weeks because the pain was that bad that
Oh,
I was full of so much anesthesia. I had paranoid delusions.
that's awful.
Like there were times when I was awake, and I could have swore I was sleeping, or I was sleeping and I could have swore I was awake. Just weird stuff. Like I thought like the nurses were trying to kill me. I thought I saw this Japanese karate movie that wouldn't end.
That's a strange one.
That was strange. Yeah, I remember I was like up all night, and I could have swore this movie just kept going and going. It was just weird. It was weird. I had people like stay up with me and stuff. It was just a weird thing.
Oh, wow. So,
And
what were all your injuries?
let's see, broke my leg in 7 places. I crushed my sternum. I broke a couple teeth. I fractured my hand. I had a mild heart attack. They put a stent in me,
Oh,
and my elbows got fucked up. And then there's a couple other things I can't even think of. But I had like
wow.
12 surgeries.
Jeez, Tommy, well, it's a miracle you're here. Thank God you're here.
Yeah, it's a miracle. But yeah, God, it was really strange. But I'll tell you something. After I mean, it took me 2 years to get my brain back from all that anesthesia and all that feelings that I was having. It took me 2 years, but I I kept thinking by like the second or third month I was there, I kept thinking, what am I going to do after this? And I was watching a lot of TV, and I was like, oh God, I would love to be on a show like this. I would love to do this. I'd love to do that. Anything show business related. But I was like, but I don't know how I'm going to do it, right? So I get out, and within 2 weeks, I'm watching this HBO special Dennis Miller did back in the 90s, and I'm laughing hysterically. And then that's when I have the epiphany that I want to pursue stand up, I want to pursue show business. And
Good.
that's how it came to me. But I just knew I wanted to do something. I just couldn't put my finger on it until that one day, like 2 weeks later after I got out of the hospital.
Well, good. Well, it's good that you have that, and you're going to do what you love.
hmm
That's important.
Yeah.
I kind of always just fell into every job I had. It wasn't really what I wanted to do. Although I did like, my favorite job was working at Hewlett Packard doing technical writing and doing troubleshooting trees for the web. But I really liked that.
Well, at the time I met you, um, I was working at Michael's Arts and Crafts, and I did not like that job. And they made you wear walkie talkies. They like treated you like you were in the military. And then after I left, they stopped doing that with the walkie talkies. They don't do it anymore. But at the time, I was just like, I hate this job, and I only lasted 9 months there.
Yeah, that's would have some places to work. They made it that difficult.
Oh, looks are deceiving. It wasn't. And I was working with all these teenagers, and they just had attitudes, and it wasn't a fun job. And everyone who was working in management had a chip on their shoulder. Some of them are still there. I was there one of the last times I was in the Bay Area. I was there, and like no one acknowledged me. I mean, they're just irrational people.
That's so fun. Well, I'm glad you got away from it, and now you're going to do something new about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to be 36 this year. Like I said, I just don't want to be, doing open mic when I'm 40, and I don't want to be on Section 8 or collecting food stamps or Social Security. I want to be very successful.
Right, be independent. Well, I wish you the best. I'm sure you're going to do well because I see you doing that.
Mm-hmm.
You acting totally, that's you.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've interviewed so many great actors on this podcast, and they've talked to me about their journeys and stuff, and I'm just so amazed at how how they accomplished it before the internet came.
Oh yeah.
Because you had to learn stuff through word of mouth. You had to find out through word of mouth where an acting class was. And then you had to meet somebody in that class that would take you to the next level, in terms of, the audition that they're going to or the next class they're going to and all this stuff. But now,
right.
You got the internet.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and everybody's famous on the internet. Yeah.
Yeah, and also too, oh my God, I interviewed so many comedians that were at the Comedy Store in the 70s, and they were at the Groundlings Improv group. And back then, they were at humble beginnings, and there was so much room for experimentation and creativity. And now those places are an institution, they're a business. But back then, they could, do anything, and they could make mistakes and everything. But the world's a different time now, and now there's really no outlets for experimentation and starting theater groups like that. I mean, you have to find a really tight knit community of people to do that kind of stuff these days.
Oh yeah.
And
have you ever thought of doing what do you call it? I can't think of what it's called. My mind just blanked out. Things on YouTube, doing that type of thing.
Oh yeah, I mean, this podcast goes on YouTube, and
good.
I make videos. I got videos of me doing stand-up on YouTube, but it's oversaturated. I mean, It was a little bit easier 12 years ago and stuff. My mom told me 12 years ago that YouTube was my future. I didn't believe her. I didn't think YouTube was going to last very long.
And here you are.
Yeah, and you know why I didn't think it was going to last long? Because of the free content of copyright material. I was like, YouTube is not going to last that long, and it's really surprising me. It's almost 15 years old.
Wow, that is surprising.
Yeah, I don't know how I don't know how they've been able to survive with putting copyright material on. And
Never thought about that.
Yeah, I mean, Prince.
Now, are you on Instagram also?
I'm on Instagram. Not on it as often, but I'm relatively new to Instagram.
Well, I'll have to start looking for your videos on your podcast on YouTube.
Oh yeah, I mean, I got a whole channel, with all 421 episodes, with maybe one or two that are not on there because the persons were not satisfied with the way the interview turned out, but they're all on there for the most part.
Oh, good.
And some episodes the audio is not very good, and in some episodes the audio is really good. And I give everyone a variety. I don't give them just celebrities. I give them, my friends from the Bay Area like you, and talking about life's journeys and stuff, and just sharing old memories and just fun stuff. It's not all about pop culture and entertainment.
Well, you're showing people you're real,
Mm-hmm.
and that's awesome because it's hard to find people who show their vulnerability and who are real out there. So I think this is great.
I mean, I do play a character, and I'm going to be playing him when I go back to doing stand-up. Tommy Throwback Kovac. He's a fanboy stuck in the 80s, and he's an incel. He's obsessed with sex and women, and a lot of people have responded to the character in good ways, some in bad ways due to the due to the political correctness of our climate. But a lot of people think I have something with it.
Well, good. And you've got that on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in the first probably I don't know 100 episodes or so, maybe more. I was I was on camera for the beginning and end of each episodes, and then I just got tired of seeing myself and all the weight I was gaining, so I just made the show audio only.
Yeah, I know. I hate to see myself in pictures too.
Yeah. So until I get all that weight off of me, that's how it's going to be. But of course, when I do my horror show in May, I'm going to have to see myself on camera, and God only knows how many pounds I'll have shed on me by then. But at least I'll be tolerable to look at, from my standpoint.
Yeah, you'll be happier. So how tall are you, Tommy?
6'3".
6'3". Yeah, I thought you were way taller than that. Well, I'm only 5'1", so everybody looks tall to me.
Yeah. Wait, you thought I was like 7 feet?
I thought you were like 6'5" or something like that.
Well, it's funny. I was born with scoliosis, and I have like an inch. I had an inch off of my left leg that was a little off from the scoliosis. It was a birth defect, and so I think I was like 6'4" at one point, and then I just became 6'3" once my accident happened, and it kind of corrected that deformity.
Oh, wow. So is it easier for you to walk? I mean, did you have issues with walking and backaches and that type of thing with it?
With scoliosis, I had backaches and everything, but now I have different pains now that I've recovered from the accident. I have lots of arthritis from having titanium in my leg, and that's in my right leg. In my left leg, I have a torn ACL joint, and that's painful. But it's not as painful as it was. It's actually gone down. The swelling has gone down a little bit, but it's just as tough. But I look at the injuries as character building.
You've got a good attitude.
Yeah, because it's funny. My whole life, my goal was to never have a broken bone, and I got several of them. And now that I have several of them, it's character building. Like, okay, I mean, it was kind of my fault because I got into the car with him that night, but it also showed, the drinking made me crazy, and this was God's way of saying, okay, it's time to slow down and get out of this funk that you're in of being homeless and without work. Now it's time to pursue your dream.
Awesome. So you're on the right path.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, when you quit doing all the stuff you're doing and have a break in there, come and see me.
I will.
We'll go for a walk on the beach and maybe go have some Chinese food like that.
Oh, that would be great. In fact, I'm going to...
There's a great Thai place over here.
Oh, I don't do Thai because...
No?
Oh, what?
You don't do Thai?
No, it burns my tongue.
Oh, well, I don't do the hot Thai. I can't handle hot food.
Yeah.
So I do the ones that aren't spicy.
Yeah, my limit is buffalo wings, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm not a very good... most of my family can eat fire. I can't. No, thank you.
Yeah.
So I don't make any cook with, with anything that's really hot either.
Yeah, I'm going to suggest to my mom that we make a trip to Santa Cruz sometime.
Yeah, for you, I'd love to meet your mom.
Yeah, like this summer or something, because I miss it and she misses it. I was like, I'll just say, let me go out there for a week with you, while you're working, and then on Saturday, maybe on Friday night or something, go down there.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, because I'd love to come down and see you.
Yeah. Yeah, and take you down Santa Cruz and see what's going on in Santa Cruz and, go to the boardwalk. And this will probably be the first summer I've spent the whole summer here.
Mm-hmm.
I usually go to Idaho quite a bit, but I can't really afford to. So I'm just going to kind of stay around here and enjoy the summer here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, also got some cool scars to show you.
Oh boy, I bet.
Yeah, I got this road map from my torso to my belly button.
Wow.
I
Well, thank God you made it out all right, Tony.
hmm Yeah, I was embarrassed by it for a while, and then after I had my gallbladder removed, the doctor fixed it. It was really ugly, and now it's actually pretty sexy.
All right.
Yeah.
That's great. That's a good attitude.
Yeah, you gotta have a good attitude after like something like that's happened.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Good for you.
So what are you gonna do today?
I have to go find the belt for my costume.
hmm
And if I don't find it, I've got to make it. So I've got to go to a craft store and see what I can find.
That sucks when you have to make it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping I can buy it, but I don't know. There aren't that many costume shops around here. And I was going to order it from Amazon, but it takes too long. And that's the one thing I forgot to get. I don't know why I forgot the belt. So I don't have time to get it from Amazon. And if I do try to order, it will cost a lot more. So I'd rather make it if I have to.
Awesome. Well, I hope you have a fun time at that costume party.
It'll be fun. I'll have to send you some pictures.
Yes, send me pictures. That would be great.
All right, Tommy. Well, I better get ready to head out. And it's so good to talk to you.
You too, hon. I'm so glad we got to do this, and
Yeah.
I'll be in touch with you some more, and I'll let you know if I come down there.
Okay. Great.
And I hope you have a happy rest of your day.
I will. You too. Thanks, Tommy.
Okay. Bye
See you
bye.
later. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Well, there you have it. Marie Gallegos. Ain't she a sweetheart? Thank you so much, Marie. I'm glad that we got to catch up and stuff, and I hope we get together, before I move and all. You're one of the good ones. If you like this video, everyone, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Add me as a friend on Facebook. Join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all the time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past because the present sucks. Later, dudes!